As puzzle platformers become increasingly common, developers Spearhead Games and publishers 505 are ready to take on the richly saturated market with Tiny Brains. The game sure holds a lot of promise with its quirky style and gameplay mechanics, but can this game really be a pint-sized genius, or is it a gigantic dunce?
Hey, don't believe Western media. Freedom is overrated. I let you sleep 3 hours a night. I even feed you. Sometimes. It is good life. Come back.
But first, a warning. During our recording with 3 other people, the game crashed a total of 6 times, including across all 4 machines, for various reasons such as random disconnections, server problems, as well as phantom gamers being generated where 2 of our team would be playing on the same server as us, but in a completely different game world. It was very confusing, and due to the lack of documentation, it was very hard to troubleshoot, and this might actually put some users off. But if you can look past that, Tiny Brains actually has some potential. The story is simple. A mad Russian scientist has created the Tiny Brains, a set of madcat rodents with the ability to generate blocks of ice and jump higher, swap location with certain objects, pull objects towards themselves, and push objects away whilst looking a bit like a smartass. The game demands to be played with 4 players, and whilst the single player offering allows you to switch characters on the fly, some challenges are almost impossible to accomplish this way, killing the fun entirely. A gamepad is also recommended, hugely. The story is rather cliche and forgettable, but Tiny Brains makes up for this with some very quirky quips that add some real charm to the game. The innuendos and constant worshipping of tasty chicken might not be to everyone's taste, but it genuinely works.
And my radioactive balls.
The gameplay here is what makes this title shine. When everything is working and 3 other coordinated players are in tow, Tiny Brains becomes genuinely, wholeheartedly brilliant. The puzzles involved here have just enough difficulty to them to make accomplishment feel fantastic, whilst not being so difficult that you rip your hair out. Puzzles vary largely, which helps keep things fresh, with a personal highlight being an all-out chicken war involving a deep fat fryer. When players want something more than just a story, there's a host of minigames to unlock. They're alright with a good range of ideas to use the critter's powers, but none of them feel entirely must play. That said, we did like this game mode, which sees you working together to push a ball up an increasingly treacherous tower. Little foibles such as physics glitches can spoil the fun, and the game breaking issues mentioned earlier are downright infuriating, but there's something about Tiny Brains that leaves a jolly big smile on my face.
Now, let's see if their agility matches their cleverty.
It's certainly not perfect by any means, and it's long overdue a patch or 2, but if you have the money and 3 friends in tow, then Tiny Brains is a good way of spending the weekend. Just be prepared to wrestle with the configuration settings first. For more game news and reviews, check out pushstart.co.uk.